Let me see. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Sometimes, when I bring myself forward to talk, all of a sudden it's like there's this huge space inside my head, and I have no idea what I'm going to say next. So I'm making light little gibberish that tries to be cute and oftentimes falls flat until just one little spark of something interesting to say comes forward. So, it's kind of what we're waiting for. Hey, let me ask you a question. Is it just me, or does anybody else think that our world is getting way too complicated? It is just, thank you. It seemed to me just out of control. We have 3 million new books are published every single year. A lot of those books are what they call self-help books. 3 million people writing a book about their opinion that they think is right. And it just continues to escalate and escalate up into these higher levels of confusion and complexity where sometimes I just don't know what is going on at all, especially when it comes to self-help books. I mean, we have theories, we have formulas, we have hypotheses about how we can help ourselves become something different, become something more, become something better. And I'm just wondering, how much help do we really need? 93% of all the life on the planet has no self-help program. And that's everybody but human beings. Human beings are the only one that have a self-help manual. The very first self-help, and this is the irony of it all, the very first self-help book, which was published 159 years ago, said quite simply, God helps those who help themselves. And everything else is just rhetoric that's been attached to that, telling us how we should help ourselves. And I think it's good that we're analytical, and I think it's good that we explore new frontiers in regards to who we are and what we are and why we're here. But to confound it to a point where our heads just buzz with all of this stuff, it even creates problems. Like, I never knew there was anything wrong with me until I saw a antidepressant commercial on TV. And it showed this person walking through a field with a huge smile on her face, and then it said, if you have stress, if you're occasionally sad, if you have this and you have that, and I said, yeah, I have that, yeah, I have that, I have that, then you need this, so I can walk through a field with a big smile on my face. But that is actually, that's just, we have to come to grips that is just part of life. We don't want to wipe away everything in life that has a feeling to it that might be a little bit uncomfortable or might be confusing. We need to embrace that because that is a stepping stone for us to move to the next level. So in the midst of all of our analysis, I think it's very, very necessary that we remember life is in its essence simple. Very, very simple. Everybody can get it. An earthworm gets it. And all we have to do is remember the 3 basic tenets of life in all of its simplicity, and things, for the most part, will move along pretty good. Now, for those of you who are new here or visiting us for the first time, I have a little program called Simple Life. And Simple Life is just a series of ideas, stepping stones, so to speak, on the path of life that we can take. And each time we bring it up, we take another step. So, some of you have heard this many times before, but let me repeat it. Life is very, very simple. For each and every one of us, we are born into this world. Life begins. For each and every one of us, there'll come a time when we leave this world and life ends. In between the beginning and the end, there's time. That's our life time. Each and every one of us has one. We have a lifetime, the time that we get to spend here, and that time is ours and ours alone. Nobody can take it from us. Nobody can really dictate how we spend it in regards to how we experience what is going on. We have time, and the only way we can spend that time is by interacting with or relating to life. There's no other way to spend our time. Every single moment, whether you're sleeping, whether you're going about your daily activities, you're spending your time interacting and relating with life. Whether it be with God, whether it be with yourself, whether it be with other people, with nature, with situations, circumstances, it doesn't make any difference. You are always spending your time interacting with life around you. It's like sometime before we became here, God gathered us all together and said, hey, listen, young souls, I have a great idea. I'm going to give you a bunch of time, and you get to go to earth and spend it. Then you come back and you tell me what you did with it. So here we are with time to spend. None of us know how much time we have to spend, but we all know that we have so much. So we have life. We spend our time interacting with life and relating to life. And there's only one method of doing that, and that is very simple. That is the method of giving and getting. That's what you do every moment of your life. You give and you get. You give your attention to something, and you get something back for it. You give of yourself, and you get an experience back from it. Right now, you're giving and getting. You have given 1 hour of your time, and you're getting the experience of being here at Unity Temple. You go home tonight and you go to bed. You are giving 8 hours of your time, and you are getting rest. We have time. We spend that time interacting with life or relating to life. We do that through giving and getting. Now, the grand simplicity of life is all we have to do is make sure that what we're giving has value, and that what we get back has value. Now, just for a moment, I'd like you to think about this time that you have to spend like money. You go to the grocery store, you give your money, and you get back food. You go to Quick Trip, you give money, you get fuel for your car. You're walking down the street, you see a homeless person there with his cup, you give him 50 cents or $1, and you get a good feeling that you made his life just a little bit better. It's constant source of giving and getting. It's the same thing with our time. We give our time, but what are we getting back? Is it of value? That's the question that we have to ask. Are you giving your time towards something that has no value at all? Like thoughts and feelings or attitudes or perceptions that have no value, they have no good, they're not what you desire, they actually have a hurtful effect on you. How much of your time do you give to thoughts and feelings about something that you can do absolutely nothing about? And whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're giving your time for, hurts you. It takes you out of life. It doesn't give you anything at all. Now, that is like going to the grocery store and giving your money for spoiled and rotten food and then going home and eating a little bit of it every single day. It's not good for you. It has no value. You've wasted your money. Our call is to make sure that we don't spend our time, our precious time, on something that doesn't have value. And the best way to do that is to start to monitor wherever we're at and whatever we're doing. I'm giving my time here. What am I getting back? And that's not selfish. It's not means I need to get something back that's good for me all the time. It's I have to give my time for something that has value either for me or for somebody else or for the world in general. But it can't be wasted or spoiled on something that does the opposite of creating a benefit for the world and instead create some sort of a negative overcloud for the world. So we're going to do a meditation this morning. What I'd like you to think about is come up with one thing in your life that you're carrying, that you spend your time on, that has absolutely no value at all. You don't even know why you're carrying it with you, but you do. You think about it on occasion, but it has no value. You're wasting your time. So as we move into meditation, allow yourself to just think a little bit about your life, about yourself, about the people in your life. What is it that you spend your time on or you spend your time with that has no value and that you would like to release? We'll now move into meditation. Take a moment to get comfortable in your seat. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale. And another deep breath, slowly exhale. And as you do, feel your entire body becoming relaxed. And just for a moment, at your own pace, breathe in. Breathe out. And focus on your breath. Feel your body filling up with breath. Feel it emptying the breath. And with each breath, find yourself slowly immersing into a sense of calmness and serenity. In this meditation, you are going to embark upon a journey to a destination deep within your soul. A place where you'll find a feeling, a deep feeling of comfort, kindness, and clarity. And on the journey, you'll take with you just one thing in your life that is not pleasant to think about. Perhaps it's a disturbing memory of the past. Maybe it's something that someone did that hurts you deeply. It could be an ongoing conflict that you're involved in. Or even self-condemnation, guilt, shame, some negative and harsh judgment levied against the self. Just take a moment to think about it. And then choose one thing you spend your time on that gives you nothing of value in return. Now imagine taking that one thing that you've chosen and you wrap it up in a beautiful cloth and you put it in a backpack and you strap the backpack onto your shoulders. And you step onto a path where your journey begins. You move down the path to some unknown destination, but you do know you have been called to do this, and so you do it willingly. But as time goes by, the backpack seems to be getting heavier and more cumbersome. It weighs you down. It tires you out. It makes the journey much, much more difficult than it needs to be. Things would be so much better if you just put it down and walked away. But you wonder how you could possibly do that. What you carry is painful, it's disturbing, it serves no value, but it's part of your life. It's part of you. What would it mean to let it go? If it involves somebody that hurts you, would it mean that person responsible for hurting you would be set free of blame and go unpunished? Would it be like the situation never happened? That what was done no longer mattered? You defend your right to hold on to the situation. You deem yourself justified because you are the one that was hurt. You are the one that was mistreated. And the pain and the misery you feel is real. How can you possibly release it? Why should you? So you continue laboring down the road. And the road becomes harder and harder to walk. After a distance, you look up, and far, far off, you see a golden glow, which seems to be resting on the horizon. The closer you get, the more radiant the light becomes. And you can see that it is a golden spiral rising up into the sky, seemingly with no end. It's obvious the golden spiral is your destination. This is where you will find the three great gifts of comfort, kindness, and clarity. You arrive at the golden spiral. You walk up 7 steps to the center of it. And there you find an altar. An altar that glitters with gold. You take the backpack and place it on the altar. A very warm and brilliant light shines down upon it, and it shines down upon you. And you kneel before the altar. Bow your head and find rest in a peace and stillness not found in common hours. In this place, you know, even though you're with your greatest adversary of peace and stillness, you know you're not alone. You know you are safe, and you know you are loved. It's now time for you to return. And as you prepare to leave, you decide to let that which you have brought remain on the altar. Leave that which has been so painful to you. It will be safe there. You can come back and retrieve it anytime you wish. But for now, you are free of the weight. You are free of the burden. You are free of the pain and suffering it once held you under. The journey back is much easier to walk. The bright sun rests ever so easy in the sky. The brilliant blue of the sky is filled with white, billowy clouds. Colorful wildflowers grow along the edge of the path. The air is fresh, the breeze is gentle. And you compare the walk to the Golden Spiral to the walk back home. You realize the difference. You realize how you want to spend your time. As you are free. As you go about your daily life, there may be reminders of the pain you felt at one point in time. You may encounter a person or persons who are part of the pain. But the situation itself lies bathed in light on the altar of the Golden Spiral, and it has no power over you anymore. It is no longer yours to deal with. It is in its right and proper place. And you know all is well. I now invite you to come back to this time and this place and do so with a sense of relief, a sense of release, a sense of knowing that you have time and you can choose to spend that time as you wish.